It's a beautiful day. Lucky that we live Hawaii. 24/7, 365. Swimming in the ocean anytime. Take the leap, well, live healthy. Eat well. Be active. Live Pono every day.
Take a little bike ride. West side.
Aloha kako, and welcome to our second episode of Foundations for Healthier Generations. I'm your host, Lori Lynn Salamanca of the WIC program at the Department of Health. It is nice to be with you once again to highlight the public health programs, initiatives, issues, and public health concerns addressed by the State Department of Health. During our last episode, we provided an overview of the Department of Health and introduced you to our director, Loretta Fuddy. She discussed her background and vision for Hawaii and introduced us to the department's strategic plan. Today we have Lola Irvin with us to talk about obesity prevention in our state. Ms. Irvin is the project manager for the Chronic Disease Prevention and Management Division, which works to address chronic diseases and their contributing factors. Let's have a listen.
Obesity is a growing problem in Hawaii. Obesity in our state has more than doubled from about 11% in 1995 to 23% in 2010. Additionally, about 1 in every 3 children who are entering kindergarten is overweight or obese. The danger is that obesity can lead to diabetes and other chronic diseases later in life. While obesity in Hawaii is lower than national averages, some population groups here are disproportionately affected. For example, Native Hawaiians and other Pacific Islanders have much higher rates of obesity than other ethnic groups. The primary prevention branch of this division addresses the 3 primary health behaviors known to reduce chronic disease: increasing physical activity and good nutrition, and reducing smoking in Hawaii. Increasing opportunities for physical activity and healthy nutrition can ultimately lead to a decrease in obesity. The primary prevention branch seeks to address obesity at every level of society: at the individual level, the interpersonal level, the organizational level, within our communities, and finally in the policy and systems change arena.
Today we'll highlight some of the model programs taking place here in Hawaii to increase opportunities for physical activity and healthy nutrition in Hawaii's communities, with the goal of reducing obesity in our state. Ms. Irvin, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here. I want to talk to you about 2 model programs that our program is working on the windward side of Oahu. So one is the Waimanalo Project, increasing nutrition opportunities, and the other is working with the Department of Education schools. And we're going to talk about model programs at the community and organizational level. Most of what we do, though, is at the policy and infrastructure level. So a lot like the camera crew here that you can't see today. When we do our work, you probably won't see us because we're working at the policy level. But with these community programs, we're working with partners at the community and the school level. And it's really exciting to share this with you.
Oh, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit more about what model programs are?
By model programs, we mean those programs that we evaluate and then you can look at it and copy them, basically replicate them in your community with partners.
Okay. Can you tell us a bit more about the Waimanalo Project?
With the Waimanalo Project, in 2009, we approached the Waimanalo community members and asked to find out what they're doing and what their concerns were. And we brought in resources with our federal grant, as well as then in terms of what we knew about best practices, what the science says, and shared with them to find out what their concerns were. And we found out that they wanted to work with the nutrition system in terms of making healthy foods available, and in particular improving just the availability of healthy fruits and vegetables.
Okay. What is a food system?
The food system is looking at then the growing of fruits and vegetables, as well as the distribution and the consumption, and then recycling waste.
Okay. What kinds of projects, I guess, did the community decide they wanted to do that would address the local food system?
The group in particular decided to work on aquaponics as one activity, and so it's pretty exciting what they were able to accomplish with that.
So aquaponics is a term I've heard before, but I don't know too much about it. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay, aquaponics has two components, and so on the one side there is the raising of fish, and then the other side in terms of raising of fruits and vegetables. So there's the aqua part with the water and the ponics side. It's also based on the ahupua'a concept. So kind of the mountains to the sea. So from Mauka to Makai, and so they've got the plants, and then they've got the raising of the fish.
That's great. I mean, it's really incorporating native culture into the
really
health
exciting.
goals. Yeah. Well, I think we have a clip right now about aquaponics. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Aquaponics is a type of organic food production that combines techniques of raising plants in water and fish in tanks. This type of system recycles nutrient-rich water from fish culture to fertilize and water plants, which provides healthy, fresh, and sustainable fruits, vegetables, and fish for local consumption. The Waimanalo Food System Hui is a program that through the Healthy Hawaii initiative that provides aquaponic systems materials to community members in order to promote healthy eating habits and lifestyles. Each month, the Waimanalo Food System Hui holds workshops for the community that provide information on building aquaponic systems as well as the process of growing and maintaining a sustainable food source. The workshops are organized and held by community members for community members, taught from one ohana to another, including members from Keiki to Kupuna. We build aquaponic systems, and you can build one too. By having an aquaponic system, your ohana can gain more access to fresh fruits, vegetables, and fish. If you want to eat healthy, you can learn how to grow your own because it's not hard to do. With Waimanalo Food System Hui, you have a support system in place to help you learn how to grow your own healthy and organic foods. Eating fresh gives you tasty and nutritious food options for you and your family.
That is a great example of what the Department of Health is doing to move our population towards healthier eating, because what's really needed is a sustainable food source, on island within the state instead of importing a lot of our foods. And cost becomes a barrier really for healthy eating for a lot of families. I think now we'd like to talk about physical activity in schools. Since 2000, the Department of Health has been using tobacco settlement special funds to fund physical education and health education resource teachers. Can you tell us a little bit more about?
Sure, okay. We have a really great health ed and PE resource teacher, Kurt Okimoto, on the Windward side. And so he's been supporting a physical activity competition with the Windward schools. And so we support standard-based health education and standard-based physical education so that it's available to all students. And now Kurt's taken it to support a competition, so to make it fun and to set goals.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we've got a clip with Kurt. No,
Okimoto.
not yet. Yeah, sorry, I was just stretching. So we're seeing here that the kids are doing some push-ups. And how often are the competition happening?
Okay, this happens once a year, and for the kids, in terms of physical activity, with all the competing priorities in the Department of Education, the students may not have the opportunities for physical activity during the day, but with this competition, they can work towards goal setting and have lots of fun, and then compete in the meets.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of competing, I guess, attention in schools between priorities, academic priorities, and then physical activity. And I'm sure that when they get home, they're competing distractions.
Right.
There's a lot of social media, and we use the computer, our phones, to interface with the social media, and it's all pretty sedentary, really. Mm-hmm. So it's a great way to build in, I think, the physical activity into their day without having to separate it out. And now you have to go work out after school and while they're doing homework as well. Love to hear about Kurt Okimoto and what he's doing on the Windward side. So roll the clip.
Hi, my name is Kurt Okimoto. I'm the Windward District Physical Education and Health Resource Teacher. And this is a 32nd annual physical fitness meet The meet actually started 32 years ago as a statewide meet, and at this point we are the last district in the state to still continue this meet. We had 23 schools in attendance today. In the past, 184 kids participated out of the 23 schools. This year's meet, we had between 800 and 900 plus students participate. So it's a great event, very successful. The kids enjoy it. Personally, I feel that it benefits their fitness levels, at least their awareness of it, and also their self-esteem. And it's a great meet that we will continue doing in the future. Thank you.
So we just saw Kurt at Kaiser High School, and this competition happened on March 7th, I believe, yeah?
Yeah, and this is great because, you know, as you talked about in terms of what the kids are anticipating throughout the year, the physical activity recommendations are that kids should have 60 minutes of physical activity a day. And so if they're working towards it, then we know that, you know, they're going to have fun and work towards it during the day. And not just try to, you know, fit it within 15 minutes, which is not going to be enough. They need to do 60 minutes at minimum a day.
Yeah, I do hear about some of my friends and their kids and how the parents kind of are trying to get the kids out to, you know, to go outside and play, but instead they're inside doing, you know, video games, or they're on the computer as well. So that's awesome that this is happening in the schools, so that it's in addition to what else they might get at home.
Yeah, this sets up an internal motivation for the students.
Right.
And they can also then compete with their peers and encourage each other to be physically active.
And then that fun factor that they can take it home and model it for their parents and their family as well. Modeling doesn't have to just be the parent to child. So if it's something that they enjoy, they can model it for the rest of the family, and it's the whole family that's active and healthy and having fun together.
It's great, and that's why the Department of Health supports the DOE and uses the dollars that we do to support the health ed and PE teachers, because then we build it into the system of expectation.
Right.
So then the kids can expect to be physically active.
Yeah, and it's a positive cycle that's being created because they're healthy, they're alert, and then they're ready to learn.
Yes.
Because when they're sedentary, it's just not. It's not quite there. Yeah.
They're not going to be as engaged.
No.
This way they can look forward to school and seeing their friends.
Right. Yes. Yes. And then there's socialization as well.
Yes. Yeah.
You can
it's
go
all
into.
the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we also have Lisa Hockenberger, and she is a physical education resource teacher, and she talks about the health benefits of the competition.
The benefits of this program are threefold. First of all, it encourages the spirit of competition among schools. The second thing it does is it encourages students to challenge themselves physically as they proceed throughout the events. And the third thing it does is it encourages students to meet each other from different schools, so that when they transition into middle school, they're familiar with each other coming from schools in their area.
Well, that's great. It sounds like there's a lot of support for the physical activity and also for the Waimanalo project. And it's good to hear that the infrastructure is being built so that you know, in schools and in communities, community gardens, that there's somewhere for families to go and start these healthy behaviors. Well, what other tips might you have, I guess, for our community?
Okay. Some of the other things that we're working on is to help communities have sidewalks and bike paths. And so what we talk about is, you know, people should be able to build physical activity into the day. And so, like the kids, building it into the day because they're going to compete and they're looking forward to it. We want then the adults to be able to use the stairway, to be able to walk when they do errands, for kids to be able to bike or walk to school, and to have those options so that the neighborhoods are built that way. So the workplace has visible, attractive stairways, there are sidewalks. So to build it into the day.
Yeah, and I know at the state, the Department of Health building at Kinohale, they have, I mean, those are attractive stairs.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, we took our stairs and we painted each landing a different color.
Yeah.
And then we also had a competition with the employees. And so the first competition we had, we asked employees to send us the artwork of their kids. and we displayed it into the stairwells, and we called it a gallery. And it was a lot of fun. We also then have had other competitions where we show photographs of physically active employees and also healthy foods the employees have created. And we have them in the stairwell. Yeah, that's fun. I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous because I am a health department employee. However, I don't work in that building. And whenever I go over, I like, I'll take the stairs down. And there's music as well. So I'm like, this, gets me in the mood to walk, and it's not drabby and gray like in my building.
Well, something that people can think about too is there have been studies done that show if you have signs that encourage people, signs you put up at the elevator that encourage people to take the stairs, and you point it towards the stairway, people will take the stairs more often.
Oh.
And so then, yeah, it actually, they're called point of decision making prompts. But basically, they're reminders to people, take the stairs instead, build physical activity into the day.
Yes, yes. And then you don't have to carve that out and think about it. It just, it becomes a habit, a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well, I know that there's a website that the community can check out and see, for additional tips about healthy eating and physical activity.
Yeah. It's www.healthyhawaii.com.
Okay. What might some of the highlights of the website be?
Okay, so some of the things I've talked about have to do with worksite wellness, so they might find other tips in there. They'll find other tips in terms of healthy recipes that they could use in the workplace, because that's the other thing. In Hawaii, we offer food, we socialize around food. And so when we get around with other employees or with family members, with friends, there should always be healthy options available. It's all about choice, making the healthy option a default and a choice that we can enjoy. And so there are tips like that. And if we're going to get together with friends and talk story, maybe we can walk and talk instead. So people will find other tips like that, getting together with friends and family, how to incorporate physical activity and healthy food into just what they're going to do.
Yeah, that was definitely something that came up in my own life about, hanging out with friends and going out with family. By default, it tends to be, let's go out to eat. Why can't it be, let's go, see the sights over at Kaena Point or the Ea Loop Trail? I mean, that's something that is shared time as well.
Yeah, it's quality time,
Definitely.
and it's good for us.
Yes.
All the way around.
Yes. And with foods as well, I know that food is a way to affirm, our caring for loved ones, those that we work with, and what better way to do that than to also, provide food and share food that allows them to be healthy. Yeah. So thank you so much for taking the time today and sharing the information that Healthy Hawaii Initiative is building the infrastructure for our communities. And I hope that we'll be hearing more of these activities on the website and as well in the news.
Thanks.
So, you're welcome.
It's been really great. Thank you, Larlyn.
Thank you everyone for joining us again on the second episode for Foundations for Healthier Generations. We're glad that you could join us. We hope that you have found this information useful. And if you'd like to join us for next time, we look forward to seeing you. Ahui ho!
Gotta get up. It's a beautiful day. Lucky that we live Hawaii. 24/7, 365. Swimming in the ocean anytime.